All right, good morning, traders. It is the S&P 500 futures, micro futures, pre-market prep video for 7/3/2019, and the day before the holiday here. We're having a nice run up overnight. The world is great. Cheap money is in play, and you can see that we're just full bore heading towards the 3,000 right here. I think that's the first goal, is to get up over 3,000. It's kind of like a magnet at this point, because we're so close. We got to go up and touch it. And I ultimately have a range of 3027, so quite a little bit higher. 3027 up here as the final goal for this leg. So things are very thin. You can see there's just no volume registering in this area at all. Again, on the daily, so thin that there's nothing here. So if somebody were to step in and actually sell, you could see an easy move back down into the top of this. The reason they do this is for structure reasons. These big pushes up overnight get the market up over structure, and when it comes back, that structure becomes support at that point. So they've added about 6,000 contracts already this morning. So I would, I don't really like to make predictions or anything, but I would predict that at some point when the market opens, they're going to start selling this thing back, and they're going to sell it right back into this top node right here. And then we'll be ready for another push up after that. But you can see ATR, our extremes all the way up at 3017 and down here at 2956. So we've got a great volume node down here for support. It's been used several times. Don't think we're coming back here. You've got this 2967. It's been used a couple times, but it's the biggest volume that we have underneath us. And you've got these three nodes right here that you should keep a watch on right here. This one that lines up right here, 73.75, with the bottom of this candle right here. You've got 76.75 and 79.75. I hate to call all of them, but it is what it is, I guess. It's not a real good shape of a volume profile, right? So it's kind of messy, but it does have good symmetry with the candles here on the daily, with the open, close, and the low right here, and 240. So 240. You can see that very top one, 29.79.75 on this chart right here, lines up perfectly with this this bull flag that was generated yesterday. And then the bottom one, it's just a high volume node kind of going through there. Kind of lines up with the origin of this candle right here. And then you have this one, which is just the bottom of the node. So, I mean, I could see it chopping around in here maybe and trying to fill this out, and with the 77 area kind of being the focal point. But so, like I said, they're pushing this up, and they'll probably dump their shares back and use this as a backboard to make sure that the market doesn't go down any farther, and they take some risk off and basically keep on pushing. But your next big levels down here, we had this yesterday, 67. We traded through there a lot yesterday, and we'll see that 60 looks pretty much the same. Again, you see this beautiful shelf right here on the upper side here, which is this node right here. And then you see, I kind of draw boxes around things, and there's a box right here, and there's a box right here, And so you have these two different levels, and right between the 70, 71 kind of area, it's a beautiful little shelf of volume that it could come to rest on. So just lots of little levels in here at this point now. Over here on the symmetry side, swing from here down to here, double that, and you get where we're at right now. You can see that the midline is pretty close. It could actually be a little bit smaller, I think, but that puts us up here for a range extension of 9550 and 3275. So kind of watch those levels on the upside. Again, here's the levels that we had yesterday down below that never got hit. This one level that we got tagged, but now we've added this high volume node here at 2960. So you got something 2958, 2960. I think the 60 is a better play. It's got higher volume at this point. We've got 67, which is the high volume node, but I like this top shelf right here that goes across. See the high volume right here, and this guy is actually 72. I'm going to call it 72, 7150. It's right across the top here. It's a big visual level that you can see, and you can see you run into. That's where your bulk of your volume you run into. When you test volume nodes, you usually test the top, get a bounce, and then if it doesn't hold, it'll travel through and it'll test the bottom down here. But you've got a high volume node right here at 76. But look, you've got one right underneath it, 75. That's just almost as big as that one. And you got another one at 73. So you've got just a ton of levels right in here. And then you also have a nice volume node at 79, which is real close to the top of this 81, where, that's where all the volume is. There's no volume really kind of after hours here, and it's thin through all this. So I'm expecting this, again, to come back into this node, and the first shot would be right here across the top, 79. But if you want to go with the bulk of the volume, it's going to be back here at 7650. So keep your eyes peeled. Looking at the delta here, see they had this big run yesterday that we went all the way from a negative 20,000 all the way up to 10,000. So somebody bought 30,000 contracts. Somebody's buying contracts right now, 6,000. You can see, that they're still pushing it up. There's no real selling right here at this point. They're just trying to take some of their inventory off right at this point underneath this level, and they'll try and get it down a little bit and try not to sell the market back. With structure, it's kind of important, right? You push up, push it through the level, and then you can sell your volume. See all these big candles down here, big delta. They load it up, and they need to give some of those shares back at this point, but make sure that they keep it, going on the upside here. They don't want to sell it past the structure, so that's why they defend structure. That's why structure works. And let's take a quick look at. So I drew in some scalping levels here. The first one, of course, is across the top. You can see that nice shuffle volume, 29.85. Not a lot of volume there. Not a wonderful scalping level. Right after this high volume node, in between this one right here, I put another one at 29.83. Again, there's just nothing really over here. I put one right up against this shuffle volume, one right after this shuffle volume. So the idea is, this is kind of like the top of the volume node, so right before it, and this one's kind of the bottom of the volume node, so right after that shelf. You start to get into more volume down here. And if we back up and we look at this scalping line, it's right after this nice shelf of volume. This one's right after this nice shelf of volume right here. And this one's right in front of this shelf of volume. So just to show you these scalping lines, and we'll take a look at them at the end of the day and see if any of them came into play and how they worked out. Unfortunately, you have a lot of air up here, so you're going to have to probably go long in order to use any of the lines below. So unless there's some kind of geopolitical news or something like that, that 3,000 level is a suck. So they're going to keep on pushing for it. So every time it comes back and hits a major structure, you probably want to try and go with the flow. And the trend's been up for 18 years or something like that. I don't know. No, 2009, 10 years. So the trend's not over yet. And it just continues to go as long as the cheap money flows. And if you like the analysis, please subscribe to the channel. Let me know if you're using volume in your trading, whether you're having any success, if you're using any of the techniques that I'm showing here with the high volume nodes, if you're using any of my levels, I'd like to hear about it. Let me know if you're having any success with this stuff and how you're using it. And if you like the video, please like it. Anything that you do to support the channel is great. And I will see you at the end of the day for the chart review. Take care.